Hello everyone, and welcome to my presentation. Today I'm going to explain the benefits the child with disability will receive under the Individual with Disabilities Education Act. I'm going to start with explaining a little bit about the Individual with Disability Educational Act. It was developed to help states in funding the needs of the student with disabilities. The purpose of an IDEA is to provide children with a free, appropriate public education, FAPE. Students with disabilities who meet the IDEA are eligible by an individual basis. There are different categories of disabilities, such as autism and multiple disabilities. For example, my friends, my son is now receiving a free public school for preschool in our town because he has delay in speech. After having all the meeting and evaluation, he was eligible and he has an IEP for speech, and he is eligible to enter a public school, public preschool in my town without paying the tuition. So this goes or also under a free appropriate public education. In this slide, I'm added a short video explaining about a free and appropriate public education. The short video explained the FPE. That first of all, they explain word by word. So free, like we all know, the parents are not responsible to pay anything for the children with disabilities to have the right education. And appropriate, the plan, the school, the child study team, and the therapists and the parents will create the right plan, an appropriate plan for the child based on his needs and based on his disabilities. And in a public school, like we know, sometimes people with disability receive the funding even if they were in a private school, but this is a different case. But all public school with the children with disability receive a free appropriate public education. And education, they also explain that education is not only about academic education. We don't want all the students to get the high grades. Sometimes we have students, they have a really high IQ, but they have some disabilities. So we want them to have the right socially, emotionally, and physically education. It's not about academic education. FAPE and appropriate public education. The IDEA requires the states have policies assuring all students with disabilities the right to be a free appropriate public education. FAPE is what each identified child is entitled to by every school. So all the schools have, if they have children with disabilities, they are required to have a free appropriate public school, a free appropriate public education. FAPE is designed to protect children from discrimination. The school district have difficulty meeting their appellations for FAPE. According to the book, The Law and the Special Education, to receive an IDEA funds, the SEAS must submit it to the state-specific educational plan, and then the U.S. Department of Education will review this plan, and then they agree to send the funding. The child receives funding from 3 years old to 21 years old. So all students with disabilities, they receive funding from the age of 3 years old until the age of 21 years old. IDEA funding. To receive funding is to ensure states have the federal funding needed to provide families with financial costs for children with disabilities. Funding was intended to be 40%. However, on average, it's actually lower. IDEA constitutes 75% of funding to be given to local schools and 25 at states level. Here are the three cases that I will continue my project on. The, the three cases about different three people, different three students who are receiving different, they have different disabilities and different needs. The first one is about a 7 years old child who was in a charter school in Garfield Public School, and the child study teams found that the child will be have a better education in a different school in a different districts, and the parents will have the case that who's gonna pay the tuition. It ended up the public school of Garfield paid the tuition for the child G.C, to enter the school and have the right education in the right time, in the right school, in the right environment. And the other case is about SK, who is a 13 years old. It also was a Garfield Park academy. He has multiple disabilities and he was not able to go under school, so he was receiving school in the house. So all these cases, it's all about the funding and the benefits that the child would receive under the IDEA. So parents have to open their eyes about all this important like benefits that they will receive. To be honest with you guys, I did not know that my child can receive a free busing, because also in my town, if I want to require the bus for my child, I have to pay the tuition for bus because my house will be less than 2 miles away. So I had to ask if he can get the busing, and they told me yes, it's free since he has an IEP and he was qualified, and now he has the bus to for transportation. So there are many benefits the children with disabilities are receiving, but we have to open our eyes and read and ask about the stuff that the child would receive. I hope it's a good presentation and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much, and please complete this survey and complete the comments and send it back to me. And thank you so much. Thank you.